SmackDown July 12 Review and Critique. The show starts off with LA Knight cutting a promo, hyping his match against Seth Rollins this Saturday night's main event. It was obviously a promo waiting for someone to interrupt, but still, it was pretty good. He talked shit about everyone in the faction, and Paul Heyman came and interrupted him. Paul started sucking his own dick pretty much and saying that since he's the Oracle, he can see the future. He said that he sees no future for LA Knight. Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline interrupt for some unknown reason, and they're apparently called the MFTs now. I guess that means the mediocre fungible tokens or something like that. He manages to run Paul out of the ring with a threat and shit talks LA Knight too, who was in the ring. He gives him an opportunity to walk out too. And we have a pretty cool moment in which LA Knight pretends to leave the ring, but says that he won't leave because the fans won't allow him because they were chanting his name. The MFTs come from every side of the ring, but Jimmy Uso appears and slides LA Knight a chair. Nick Aldis comes out and books a tag team match out of this. I guess that we're supposed to go crazy for this or something. Frankly, I don't care. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair have a backstage segment, and Jesus, look at this fucking piece of shit merch that they have selling for them. The merch for them not only is terrible, but it's a terrible idea. It's kind of like spoiling the ending to the Evolution pay-per-view, because if they don't get the titles, they will obviously disband this tag team. And well, if they had planned to disband this team in like a day, they're not gonna make merch out of them. I don't think so, at least. So you pretty much spoiled that they're going to win at Evolution. Honestly, terrible idea from my point of view. Plus, who's actually gonna buy this thing? On top of it being a piece of shit, this tag team isn't even close to being over. Like, why? Then we do have the match, which is Kairi Sane against Alexa Bliss, against Ruca, against Roxanne Perez. And, I mean, it wasn't bad or anything, but it could have and should have been better, honestly. It was kind of cool that people got to see Ruca perform. They didn't seem to expect when she leaped off the ropes after doing some cartwheels. I don't think that everyone knows about her since she's been only at NXT. And you know what? I'd even go as far as to say that she was the best part of this match. She at one point did a double soul snatcher and pinned Roxanne, but Raquel decided to grab her foot and put it at the rope, which caused a brawl on the ringside with all the women fighting each other. Something that pisses me off about this, since this is a fatal four-way, they were all allowed to intervene. That's how a fatal four-way works. There's no disqualification. But they never use this. They do stupid bullshit. They never use this rule to make the match more entertaining, and it pisses me off when they do that. The ending also was so weird. Like, first Kairi does a diving elbow, but Alexa gets her legs up, not even her knees, like her entire legs up. And here's where the weird part comes. After this, Alexa goes for the Sister Abigail DDT, and Kairi kinda gets to revert it, but also doesn't, and still it's a pin. I don't understand what happened here, but well, Alexa won. Next matchup was Street Profits against the Wyatt Sicks, and well, it wasn't a bad match by any means. The Street Profits are pretty good at building up pressure in the match. Like, they showed this with all the spots, like at ringside, Angelo Dawkins running straight into Erik Rowan, 2 times in which Montez went for the frog splash. But overall, I am not convinced with the result, which was the Wyatt Sicks winning. If this means that there will be more TV time for this tag division, then I am 100% for it, because it's a generational tag team division which they haven't been exploiting properly. But if they're gonna do nothing with it, which I suspect will happen, then well, I'm gonna have a problem with that. There's a backstage segment with the rest of the division after this, and well, it starts off with everyone complaining about it, but for some reason when DIY complain about it, that's just unacceptable. I can't understand that. Then we get confirmation that Andrade and Rey Fenix are officially a tag team from now on, and after confirming this, Ciampa loses it with Andrade at the end, which was pretty funny, I guess. After a commercial, Jelly Roll appears and sings something until Logan Paul interrupts him. He complains about celebrities in wrestling, and my guess is that this was like hypocritical on purpose, but it was still bad. I will say something. I don't disagree exactly with what Logan said. The thing is that he's not the person to say it, of course. So after this, Randy Orton appears for some reason, and he's like beyond pissed off. He's fucking fuming. He gets to insult Logan like quite a bit until Drew McIntyre appears out of nowhere and eats a claymore to the face. I don't know who this jelly roll asshole is, but I don't want to see him wrestling. I was writing some bullet points to talk about for the video, and I just wrote what you just heard, that I don't want to see him wrestling, before I actually saw him throwing a punch. Like, wow, that was pathetic, dude. Now I would hate the idea of seeing him wrestling. Logan gets thrown out of the ring after that by some security guards and smashes some music equipment, so looks like this fucking piece of shit match will be happening. Then there's a backstage segment with Orton and Jelly Roll. Apparently he'll be at Randy's corner, super important I guess. We get a match between Aleister Black and R-Truth. A match of 3 fucking minutes in which Aleister Black drops to R-Truth with a roll-up. Why the fuck would you hire Aleister Black to do some shit like this? R-Truth too has had some pathetic booking ever since he's been resigned to WWE. I think that it's pretty obvious that they didn't plan anything with him, that they just wanted to fire him and they rehired him after all the backlash. Seriously, why would you fire him in the first place? But second of all, now that you struck gold accidentally, why wouldn't you capitalize on that properly? He just got put to the side of the feud too for Damian Priest after this because Aleister Black decided to beat the fuck out of Damian Priest. But I mean, still, Aleister Black. People were calling him the Undertaker of NXT back in the day. How the fuck can you fumble a guy like that? After this, Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton go against each other in the ring, but not in a wrestling match. They just cut promos at each other. And as always, they don't really say anything until they get interrupted. In this case, by Naomi. I've been reading Twitter lately, and for some reason I saw a tweet from Naomi in which she showed her fucking Money in the Bank briefcase. And for some reason, she had like thousands of cockroaches and fucking worms in there, like saying like, oh, I'm so crazy, look at me, I have cockroaches and fucking worms here. Seriously, fucking fire this woman already. What the hell is this? The levels of cringe that I experienced for this, fucking inconceivable. I just don't even know what to say. Just seriously, fucking fire her. You can give the briefcase to Rhea Ripley or someone like that if you want to. I don't care. Just get Naomi out of my face. The main event for tonight was Solo Sikoa and JC Mateo against LA Knight and Jimmy Uso. Nothing interesting really, much like anything that has come out from here. And there was a kind of funny moment in which Paul Heyman appeared, but that wasn't enough to do anything really. The only somewhat good thing about this was LA Knight, who seemed like he was actually trying, unlike his tag partner Jimmy, who seemed unable to fucking move for some reason. Jimmy obviously won with a roll-up and runs away from the MFTs. Solo stayed in the ring and ate a BFT from LA Knight, and Seth's boys appeared and beat the fuck out of LA Knight after that. Overall, maybe it's because I decided to watch this shit at fucking 3 a.m. or maybe it's because I'm actually right. But this was extremely boring, both in the aspect of what the wrestlers had to offer in the ring and story-wise. I will give this a 1 out of 10. Could still be worse, but it's still a piece of shit. This will be all for today. I wanna go to fucking bed. Definitely leave a like if you enjoyed this video, leave a comment and subscribe. And I will see you all next time, whenever next time is. Goodbye.